Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our show. Live from Team Coco House in New York City. It's time for Running Late with Scott Radowski. And now, your host of Running Late, and my son, he's Scott Radowski. Shabbat shalom, everybody! Friday night! Feeling all right! New York Comedy Fest, Team Coco House. This is Running Late with Scott Radowski. I am your host, Scott Radowski. This is a live late night talk show I've been doing for 7 years. Welcome to the L. Ron Hubbard Theater. We've partnered with our neighbors down there, down the street. Look under your chairs. You get an e-meter. You get an e-meter. You get an e-meter. You're all getting e-meters. I swear to Xenu, if this show goes badly, I'm joining. I'm joining the church. We make fun of Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Elizabeth Moss, Beck. Yeah, what do all those people have in common? They're wildly successful and rich. Maybe I should try it. I mean, it can't be any weirder than Judaism. I can't eat a cheeseburger. Think about that. That's not weird. Can't get tattoos. Forget about acting in McDonald's commercials. I can't watch TV on Friday nights, Saturday mornings. I have to wear a little hat on my little pancake. If it drops to the floor, I have to kiss it. I have to sleep with a severed ram's head between my thighs. So I made that last one up, but you wouldn't know the difference. Judaism's fucking weird. I knew that.
This is why I bring him here, folks. This is what he's good for. Tagging those jokes, punching it up. My man. I'm gonna do it, Dad. I'm gonna trade in Dianu for Dianetics. I'm doing it. I mean, what's the worst thing a Scientologist has done? Jumped on Oprah's couch? Bernie Madoff bankrupted Elie Wiesel. And the Mets. Which one did I take harder? That's the question. Unbelievable. I want to thank the festival organizers for having my show here. This is such a thrill. We were here a few years ago. We're back, bigger than ever. New York Comedy Fest. Caroline's everybody producing. And I want to thank the organizers for sending a car for me tonight, which couldn't have gone with a Metro card. Would have been 20 minutes on the end versus an hour and 20 minutes in standstill Friday night traffic to go 3 miles. George Washington had a hard time crossing the Delaware. And I make that timely reference as a nod to our other neighbors across the street. How about it? Hamilton! You couldn't get in, so you came here. The biggest phenomenon in Broadway history, Hamilton. Right here. I hear George Washington's a character. I say here because I have not seen it yet. By the time I get to see Hamilton, the role of Aaron Burr will be played by Lil Xan.
See, some people got it. I didn't, but some people.
I read that one by Dad. He had no idea what I was talking about. Maybe he'll get this one. By the time I get to see Hamilton, Eliza's gonna be played by the Cash Me Outside girl. Bad Barbie. Bad Baby? That's one of the two. Still doesn't know what I'm talking about. By the time I get to Hamilton, the role of the other guy will be played by Dustin from Stranger Things. Lafayette? I have no idea. I don't care about Hamilton, okay?
I'd rather see Jeremy Lin-Manuel Miranda put on a show about Richard Rip Hamilton. Am I right? Where are my basketball fans at? How does a bastard, orphan, graduate of UConn get dropped into the middle of the Western Conference? Oh boy, we have fun here, my dad and I. We have big news actually. We haven't done a show in a while, and I should tell you guys, my sister, his daughter, is pregnant. Yeah. And she's keeping it. I'm not ready to be an uncle yet, okay? This is a major life decision. She didn't run it by me. I thought she was on the pill. I don't know about you, but I thought. She's having a baby. I'm not ready to be. I don't know how to talk over the Thanksgiving table yet. I don't know how to do that. I'm not totally fanatical about Israel. You know, I'm not completely on board. Can't be an uncle yet. I don't know where to find the racist Obama emails to then forward to my nephew. I don't know where do you find those emails? I'm like 30 years away from that at least. Where are the emails? The racist emails that my uncle sends.
You're not ready.
I'm not ready. It's like, Raina, can we talk about this? I know someone. We can take care of this. No, the baby's coming soon, like in 3 weeks. It's too late for that. And not getting circumcised. Now, that is big news in the Rogowski household. Not getting circumcised. Well, it's a girl, so it's a good. No, it's a boy and not getting circumcised. But I don't blame her. I mean, after what happened to me, you were there, Dad. Total botch job.
I closed my eyes.
And so did the Moyle, apparently. He cut off the penis and left the foreskin. But I've been told, my sister has assured me she's raising her child HQ-ish. And that's important. That's gonna be... Do we have any? Yeah, that baby's not watching Confetti or Casio. These are competitor apps that I encourage you to download so you can see how much better I am. You like the outfit? I forgot the pants. I rush ordered the pants and I left them at home, and I'm real mad, but I'm going with like a Conan 94 look tonight, all right? This is an homage, Team Coco House. But I'll wear it next time for you guys, the full getup. But yeah, HQ is this thing, it's a bit crazy. My life has changed a lot, and people ask me, how is your life different now? How has it changed? And it's changed. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm getting recognized now at family gatherings, and that's... My Aunt Barbie still calls me Seth, but she knows the face, and that's important. I'm no longer doing Uber pool. I now only pick up solo passengers, so that's... And the biggest thing that's changed is I can't tweet anymore. Can't tweet. I should just delete the whole account. Can't do it because people get mad. You know, they follow this trivia guy and they think he's, safe for kids. And I guess, I'm a comedian at heart. I've been doing this for 7 years, like I said, and so I actually had, because this is happening, I'm hearing this a lot. People, they get notoriety and then people find old tweets. So I had my manager at Pizza Hut go through my Twitter account and find some offensive tweets that I needed to delete. So he actually sent them to me. I haven't looked at them yet, but I figured why not? It's a show, it's a comedy festival. You guys came out late on a Friday. I love you for that, so I'm gonna give you a special treat. These are tweets that that now been deleted, so don't look for them, because my manager, he already deleted them. So these are those tweets. Let's take a look at what we got here. Jennifer Love Hewitt on the cover of Maxim. Where's my lotion? Oh, jeez. In 2007. That's a little gross.
Been sitting on my right hand for 3 hours, hold my calls? Oh. I don't like that either. 2008, jeez. What else we got here? Jacking it and loving it, hashtag Jack Life. 2009.
I didn't see any of these.
No. New Year's resolution, jack off every second of every day. What? I don't remember making that resolution. 2012. Current mood, handful of cum? Oh, God. Oh, jeez. New idea, jacking on? Oh, what? That doesn't make any sense. Jennifer Lopez on the cover of People, can't wait to get hard. Well, that's a decent joke, you know, but tweeting this one hand. Oh, great. 2014. This is unbelievable. When you just nutted but want to nut again. Oh, Scott. Some cool guy. I jerked off 19 times today. Me, hold my beer. What? This is so embarrassing. I can't believe I would tweet all these things in real life. And not for a bit. Where's the... There are more. Come on, clicker! Click me. What's the emoji for a handful of splooge? Oh. All right, now that the clicker's not working, they don't hit as well. Jennifer Lopez on the cover of Better Homes and Gardens, Party of Five Fingers. Stop it with Jennifer. That's 2018. Just turned the green room white. Better not shake any hands. Hey, that's from tonight. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. That's disgusting. Hey, we have a fantastic show tonight. We got the Surfboard Six. We got John Oliver. Oh, bury the lead bunch. We got Amos Lee. Bury the lead? No, I'm not burying it. We got so many great guys. And these guys, take it away, fellas.
Alright, it's a classic New York City dance. We're going to teach you how to do it. It's called the standstill. I wanna see everybody doing the standstill, doing the standstill, doing the standstill. Knees on the floor and your hands on the pie. Doing the standstill, doing the standstill. Even if you feel the groove, don't dance, don't even move. Just stand still, stand still, stand still. There's clubs that doing the standstill, doing the standstill, doing the standstill. The bars and the banks of Tokyo, doing the standstill, doing the standstill. This is the song to play. The list that you up and take your money away. So just stand still, stand still, stand still. Oh my God. Doing the standstill, doing the standstill, doing the standstill. Don't clap your hands and don't slap your thighs. Doing the standstill, doing the standstill. Even if you feel the groove, don't dance, don't even move. Just stand still, stand still, stand still, stand still, stand still, stand still, stand still. You nailed it, you nailed it. You got it.
Everybody's dancing to the Surfboard Six?
That's right. That's
on Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.com. I don't know
how did you get Spotify Records?
Yeah, Spotify Records. They signed us for a very small fee that we had to pay, and honestly, best money we ever spent. Thank you for dinner, by the way, Scott. Thank you for dinner.
Thank you. We got a little tapa. Add that record to your autumn playlist. It's got that nice autumn surfing vibe. You're gonna love it.
Thank you.
This is the New York Comedy Festival, Dad.
Very nice. You know, we're moving up. This couch is nice.
This is a nice couch. West Elm, I think.
This is nice. This is very nice.
But
you know, you didn't tell the audience the biggest impact that HQ has had on you.
What's that?
Is that I don't have to support you anymore.
Oh! But should we tell him? Dad? Still on the family plan.
Some things are hard to change.
How does that? How do you get off the? It's impossible. I'm tried. Believe me, I've called. I said, get me off the. I'm an adult. I can pay for my own phone.
The penalty will be too big, so I just keep you on it.
I've pleaded with them. They won't do it. I'm sorry. We are celebrating comedy tonight, Dad, and all of you. And you know, I like comedy. I assume you like comedy. Jury's still out with this one. I wanted to honor some of my heroes in the talk show space. Conan, of course. We are Team Coco. Not only dressing like him, but there'll be something later. And I did reach out to the FedEx Pope, by the way, to make an appearance, but he's blessing some packages down in Brazil. He couldn't make it. But before Conan arrived at late night, it was originated by a man named David Letterman. And I wanted to revisit one of his classic remote pieces he did back in 1982, his very first season on the air, and update it for 2018, right? So, you know, we're in the midst of a vacation season here in New York. There are plenty of out-of-towners in our midst, but whether you're a tourist or a native, there's always something new to learn about this melting pot I like to call the Big Apple, as we take you on yet another running late night tour of New York, New York.
It's always fun to take out-of-towners on a tour of Chinatown to find something exotic on every corner. Here we have the special Chinatown ducks, distinct because they have been slaughtered by an ancient Chinese method. They've been run over by a truck. You can still see the tire treads. There are a million great places to eat. Stopping here at the Big Joy restaurant, it's a lot of fun if Big Joy herself is there. And it's always an adventure tasting new and different foods. This place features a delicacy the Chinese call hot chocolate, tasty once you get used to it. Most first-time visitors to New York are shocked by the conditions on the Lower East Side, where they're having a terrible closet space shortage. Resourceful citizens have actually begun hanging their clothing out in the streets.
We're at the corner of Broadway and 22nd Street. This woman is Judy Brooks. And Judy, what do we have here? What's the name of the store?
The name of the store is Just Bulbs, and that's exactly what we sell, just bulbs.
What all do you have here?
We have light bulbs, just light bulbs. We have 36,000 types of light bulbs in incandescent and LED and fluorescent and metal halide and high pressure sodium and miniature and photographic.
But seriously, what all do you have here?
Just bulbs.
Anything else besides bulbs?
Just bulbs.
You don't have sandwiches here, do you?
No, just bulbs.
How about shades? Do you have shades here?
No, we have no shades. If you wanted shades, you'd have to go to Just Shades.
Now I'm here with Mark Engelson.
Yep.
And Mark, what is the name of the store here?
Just shades.
And what can you get in the store here?
Just lampshades.
What else can you get besides lampshades?
Absolutely nothing. You know, and that's all we sell is lampshades. That's it. Hence the name on the awning there. Just shades.
Well, let me get this straight. You just sell shades, nothing else?
That's all we sell.
Have you ever thought about going crazy, maybe selling lamps as well?
No, I never would. Just shades. That's what we're known for. Been around for 30 years. All we sell is just shades.
What is the name of this store here?
Just salad.
And what do you sell here?
Just salads. Oh, well, we also sell wraps, smoothies. We also have soup. We also have some warm grain bowls. And we also have some great avocado toasts.
You consider calling yourself not just salad?
No, not at all. Not at all.
How about just salad, smoothies, grain bowls, chips, brownies, sodas, waters?
That would be a really long name, especially when you answer the phone. But we're just salad, so.
But you're not just salad.
But we are just salad. That's our name. Just salads.
And now, going a step further than even David Letterman dared, I present to you the first summit of the Just Stores. I have invited here tonight the gentleman you saw in the video, the owners of Just Bulbs and Just Shades. They're about to meet for the first time ever on the Running Late Show. Ladies and gentlemen, from Just Bulbs, David Brooks, and from Just Shades, Mark Engelson. How about it? This is historic. This is it. You are the guys.
The family of the guys.
The family of the guys, that's right.
And David here, Just Bulbs.
I'm Just Bulbs.
What do you...
I brought one.
And you brought one to be sure, really hammer it home there. The t-shirt wasn't enough. The free marketing wasn't enough. Thank you. I've always wanted a...
It's a PS35.
Oh, PS35.
I'm
I need
saving
the
the shades for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I'll bring you one New Year's Eve.
Okay.
What's your size? We'll try
I'll put it on my head. I'll be a real cartoon character from the 50s.
Right. Do a little dance, you know.
So you guys have never met, but you're like symbiotic brothers here in retail in New York City.
We've never met, but we've been talked about together forever.
We've
never met, but we've been talked together forever.
Yeah? You've been talking, you refer each other customers?
We do refer each other.
Of course, yes. Sorry, delayed reaction.
Yeah. You want bulbs at the Dwayne Reader on the corner. Yeah. That's Mark's line.
No.
Has the business changed? So David Letterman came to 1982. That was your sister, Judy, there.
That was my sister.
She's
Long retired.
Retired. Out of the bulb business.
Out of the bulb business.
And she handed it down to just her baby brother here.
Older brother.
Older brother.
Older brother.
And you've been doing it for how long?
I've been there since '81.
I mean, you've bounced around a little bit, both of you guys.
We've been in 4 locations over 35 years.
4 locations.
Yeah, and we're in the second location over 35 years, so...
Having better luck.
Yeah. Maybe. We
They're
moved
not-
one.
Lower rent.
Lower rent. I don't know. No,
Of
you're down to
course.
Nolita now. They didn't call that Nolita when you started, Mark.
No, now it's Nolita, Soho, a bunch of names.
It used to be the Shade District. That's what you called it.
Right.
When you were...
Of course.
That was
Shade,
the Lower East Side
lighted.
Shade District. You want
No
shades?
longer. No, now it's Nolita.
Well, gentlemen, I didn't really think this out too much, so... Is there anything you want to say to each other while we have you?
Can't think of a thing.
No?
Separated at birth. Finally glad we met each other. You know?
I will cover your cab rides home. Thank you very much, David Brooks and Mark Nicholson. Just Bulbs, that's it. Of course, the biggest shout out to the man, the myth himself, D-Letters. It's David Letterman. It's a great bit. You know, this show is so big for so many reasons, guys. New York Comedy Festival, our esteemed guests who are about to come out. But this also happens to be my de facto 7-year anniversary show. Yeah, October 22nd, 2011, our first show. You've been there since the beginning, Dad, at the Pit, the People's Improv Theater. Yeah, we couldn't sell that place out when we started. And now look at us.
I was buying a lot of tickets back then.
A lot of seat fillers. But this is, 2011 was the first show I hosted, but of course, Running Late with Scott Rogowski has been going on far, far longer than that, since the early 90s, actually, with original host Dale Seever at the helm. I don't know if you know Dale. Anyone here remember Running Late with Scott Rogowski starring Dale Seever? After a falling out with producers and accusations of embezzling over 400,000 Nature Valley granola bars from craft services, Dale unfortunately left the show, and Scott Rogowski became the host of Running Late with Scott Rogowski in a move universally lauded as logical. We went many years without hearing from Dale. There were rumors he was lost at sea after a stint as a Carnival cruise director, but I can report he's indeed alive and well. And in fact, last week I received an email from his attorney / Reiki master, reminding me of a clause in his old contract that stipulated, should John Oliver ever appear as a guest on Running Late at any future time, Dale must be granted an invitation to appear alongside him. Very specific clause, very prescient. Lo and behold, I booked John. Dale got wind of it, and that brings me to my first guest tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm contractually obligated to welcome to the stage now the original host of Running Late with Scott Rogowski, Mr. Dale Seever. Get that off your face.
Quizzy Master Daddy Savage. Quizzy Brinkley. I'm Quiznos.
Stop it. Take that off, Dale. What in God's name is that?
Wow. That is my CPAP mask. But they said I could customize it, so I decided to go with my favorite quiz show host. And that's you.
That is absolutely
Somewhere in
horrifying.
your face.
But oddly sweet of you, I guess. Nice to know I'm helping you fight sleep apnea, Dale.
Oh no, that elongated nose really amplifies the snoring problem. And that's just coming between me and my wife, Galinda. It's putting a real strain on our marriage.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry that you have to put up with that thing. My gosh, it's so big. You must have the olfactory sense of a basset hound. I mean, how can you walk down a city street in August? Here's a hit. Avoid Chinatown. Because sometimes it smells bad. Speaking of smells, this place reeks of corn chowder, which means that Marty must be nearby. Hello, Marty!
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, hasn't it? Now, this is a late one for you. You must have put a little Red Bull in with the Metamucil. Now, remember, Scott, if he croaks, I get the sidekick position.
All right, Dale. Hey,
It's in the contract.
He's not going anywhere. He's doing just fine. We got to revisit this contract, I think.
Oh, Scott, you ought to loosen up, get in the holiday spirit. You know, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm having an awesome autumn, Scott. Thanks for asking.
Oh, good.
Yes, I love this time of year. I love fall. All the things are starting to inch towards decay, and it reminds us of our own impending doom and death. All
And
the
you like
leaves dying and career, sex drive. But pumpkin spice, apple cider, the changing of the colors.
Change of the colors. Yeah, the leaves, the foliage.
What leaves? No, who cares about leaves? I'm talking about whenever I take out my little picture of Kate Winslet and I stare at it for a long time and then look away quickly, all the colors go wonky. I turn real fast like that gritty fella from Philadelphia. Oh, you know.
That's the changing. Dale, do you have anything of substance or interest to share with the audience here?
Well, I did move recently, Scott.
Oh, okay. Well, that's somewhat interesting.
Yes, it
Big
is
news.
somewhat interesting.
Big news to move.
Yes, it's a big deal for me. You know, my wife, Galinda, decided that my snoring was really getting out of hand, and she mildly suggested that perhaps I get another place to spend my nights, and also days. And now, given my running late pension, which is nothing, I have to be on a strict budget for what I can afford. And you know, sometimes this time of year, you know, September or so, you see something happen on some of our streets. Some of these pop-up stores happen, you know, like a Halloween costume store will just suddenly appear in a place that once held a beautiful mom-and-pop establishment that you felt good about supporting because they were giving back to the community, and it served as an anchor for whole generations of people. And you just wanted to support them, even if the burger was fair, you know? But these Halloween superstores come in, you know, sometimes the rent gets jacked up 2,000% or something on these mom and pop places. Well, they're out of there. They can't afford that. Too bad nobody went there. Maybe if they had a better burger. The point is, the Halloween places come in September, and some of them pay up their lease through the end of November. Well, I found a place down on Canal in just such a situation, so that's just free rent for me. And all I have to do is help out with some inventory of some boy wizard costumes, and, you know, I close up at night. But then there's another fella there, too. I sleep on a pile of werewolf wigs in the basement. very comfortable for the most part, and nobody around to complain about your snoring. But anyhow, there's another fella there named Connor, and Connor's wild for Wolverine. Do you know that character, Wolverine?
Yeah.
Snick. And he's got the hair and the breath to match, and he's passionate about Marvel, but also Halloween. He loves Halloween. He would do Halloween all year round if he could, sweet Connor. Long story short.
Yeah.
Connor and I have gone into business together designing Halloween costumes.
Wow.
Yes, thank you
That's
very
what
much.
this is all about. You've designed.
Thank you. That's so wonderful to hear that applause for that.
You're living in an abandoned Halloween store.
You got it.
With Connor.
For free.
And you've designed, so this is your news to share. You're working on a collection of Halloween costumes.
Yes, and I felt like tonight would be the proper time to share it with you.
Good.
Would you like to see some of
these?
these?
Yeah, you hijacked the prompter there? Good, all right.
Yes,
what do you
we
got?
got it. Oh, this is a great one. This is Freddie Keurig. Now, he'll haunt your dreams, but he's also terrible for the environment.
Freddie Keurig? Freddie Krueger with K-cups on the place?
That's
what
right.
that is?
Oh, this is great. TGI Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Serving up creative murders with flair. And also ask him about the 2 grill combos that's starting at just $14.99. Oh, that's Harley Quinn Medicine Woman. Mr. J, you got the pox.
Who's this?
Spider-Man spreader. He sits wherever the hell he wants. Too bad this seat is taken. That's Spider-Man spreader.
That's not much of a... Yeah.
Oh, now this one's Penny Marshall the Clown. You know Pennywise.
Penny Marshall.
This is Penny Marshall. And this costume is in a league of its own.
I don't even know what this is supposed to be.
That's the Papa Duke.
The Papa Duke?
Yeah, you think the Papa Duke's scary. Wait till you get a load of Papa John's donations to the Trump campaign. Very scary. Very scary.
Oh.
Yep.
And their third quarter profits, I should say.
Yeah. You know when you have a pizza that then you have to sell with a dipping sauce? Well, you might want to reconsider your recipe.
That is scary.
You know what I mean? Oh, this is a lovely one for couples. This is When Mummy Met Zombie. I'll have what she's having, brains. Do you have someone special in your life, Scott?
I'm about to lose it right now after this bit.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It'd be nice for you two to go out. I think there's there's one more. I love this one. This is the Geico Psycho. You two can save 15% or more on shower curtains when you dress up as the Geico Psycho. You love that movie, Marty? I love the insurance, too. Looking to get into that one day.
Please tell me there are no more, Dale.
There's just one more.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, this one. This one is a fellow who realizes that this other guy landed a gig on a trivia app, and it's gone much better than he ever expected. And so now he drinks alone in a Halloween superstore basement to chase away the darkness. I think it's going to be real big for 2019.
Big hit for 2019. Well, best look for that. You've more than satisfied our contractual obligation here. Dale Seever, everybody.
Thanks very much.
Let him hear it. Take this with you, please. Bury it. Bury that 6 feet deep. Oh, Lord. My God, that was a long way to walk for some dumb Halloween puns. That came after Halloween, so it's not even, we're getting ahead of next year's Halloween bits. And now, this.
And now, John Oliver welcomes himself to the stage.
And now let us all welcome the Emmy-winning host of Last Week Tonight, Mr. John Oliver.
That's literally too kind.
I am sorry for making you sit through the last 40 minutes, John.
That's all right. That's all right. I wanted to see the bulb guy meets the shade guy. I just didn't know. I didn't know until you introduced the bit. I thought I want this, and then I thought they got on fine. A 6 in terms of chemistry. A 6.
Will there be a second date? That's the question. PS 30?
35, I think.
Oh, 35. I'll upgrade this. I don't know. Oh my goodness, it is so nice to have you here, John.
It's great to be here, Scott.
People have been asking me, in the last few weeks, how did you book John Oliver? Was it hard? And I tell them, I only had to email him for 9 years. 9 years.
It is true.
This is absolutely true. John and I have been exchanging 58 emails over those 9 years. I went back and looked.
Is it really 50?
It's actually 58. This is the very
Holy
first one.
Shit.
The very first one, 2009, almost to the day. I mean, October 2009, John. This is when you were at the Daily Show, and I was hosting a show called 12 Angry Mascots. Before Running Late, I had a show called 12 Angry Mascots, which was a sports show. And you had some very funny sports bits. Then I saw you at comics perform, and about the track and field story.
Sure. Yeah.
Mike Tyson bit.
Right.
So I wanted to have you do a bit on the show, and you are, honest to God, John. It's true. I've never tried harder to book a guest, but also I would have given up a long time ago had you been in any way an asshole over email. You responded to every single one, always so nice, over the top. I can't do it. I'm traveling. I'm South Africa, London, Moscow. My wife's having a baby. That became a thing for a while.
That was real.
That was 2.
I can produce a baby to prove that was not bullshit.
Yes.
I didn't impregnate her to get out of the gig. Listen, I know it doesn't feel like the right time, but they've moved to the UCB. It's harder to talk my way out of now. We're having a child.
So I
call my son not Scott.
Anything but running late. Well, you came through, John, and I got to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a good guy all the way through. And let's start with your baby. This is 9 years in the making. There's a lot of pressure on me. I've got a lot of notes here, but let's start with the children. How is fatherhood? Is it everything Bill Cosby said it'd be?
Do you know what? It's weird you bring him up because I was going through some things just 2 days ago. My son is 3 years old, and he was in a cupboard, and he pulled a record out of the cupboard, and he said, "Who dis?" And it was a Bill Cosby album. I forgot I hadn't thrown that away. There's a long answer to that or a short answer. The short answer is rapist. The long answer is actually wildly influential comedian.
Actually, wildly influential rapist.
Yeah.
Huge rapist.
Yeah, so we threw it away. My wife said we could donate it, and I said, I think that ship has sailed.
That's a crime now. They'll arrest you at Goodwill if you drop off your Cosby records.
You don't drop off that off at Goodwill. Yeah.
Your wife Kate, there she is, with the Emmys, and you guys actually surprised the gossip media when you casually mentioned you had a second child at the Emmys.
Yeah, well, because our second child is of no value. Look,
finish the sentence.
It was a huge letdown. It's not been as good as the first one. No, it didn't feel like something that needed mentioning. And then I mentioned it in passing at the Emmys to someone, and then there was headlines about I had a secret baby, and I didn't. It was with my wife. It's just I didn't have a funny story like Seth Meyers did about it. I planned.
John Oliver's Secret Baby tonight on Access Hollywood.
That's right.
That is, but you keep things very private, understandably so. I mean, but
I'm British, so I really do bury things inside. I might have a third child, I just haven't told myself yet.
But is it hard being private in this day and age? I mean, you're not. No. Really? With the I mean, you have a Twitter, but you don't really.
I don't really use it. Yeah.
Only to promote the show, thank your guests, but you don't even give your thoughts about even political things. I guess you save that for your show.
I just have a TV show.
You have a TV show.
I remember Ariana Huffington came to the Daily Show once, and she was like battering Jon Stewart backstage, saying, "Why don't you blog? Why don't you do a blog?" And he looked at her quietly, calmly, and firmly, and said, "Because I have a fucking TV show. I can talk for half an hour every night. I do not need to blog."
I don't need that $50 from Ariana Huffington.
Yeah, and so I guess I feel the same. Like, I feel like there's enough of my opinions, arguably too much of my thoughts in the world. So that's plenty. I don't think anyone needs to hear any more. There's nothing left. I'm tapped out.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a lot into your show every weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it's I would think it's hard to avoid the media in New York as a well-known face around town. I mean.
Not if you don't go anywhere. I mean, I have 2 children and a TV show, so there is nothing really else in my life. This is the first time I've been out for months. This is I'm giddy on socialising right now. So many new faces. None of you require me to change your diapers.
How do you think
I shouldn't say none. I shouldn't say none.
I mean, you're sitting next to one.
Can you teach? Teach Scott how to change a diaper because he's going to get a couple of weeks. He'll be ready.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. Well, she lives in Scotland.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's still the same.
She's farther. Well, she's farther away. I don't have to extend.
It's just you said she lives in Scotland as if those babies have hooves.
This one might. We don't know. She married a Scotsman. But no, she got out, which kind of begs me to ask you the question: why are you here, John?
Well,
why are you in America? Is what I mean.
You mean in 2009? I will say, in my defence, this was a different country going in a different direction. But listen, when I got on this horse, it was galloping majestically, Seabiscuit style. I didn't realise it was going to take a hard right turn to the glue factory. But also, your sister is very much on a sinking ship herself at the moment because Brexit is involving Britain basically Thelma and Louising itself off a cliff. So I would rather be here for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's still better here.
It's still much better here. That's right, because this might be over. Brexit is going to fundamentally destroy the future of my people. Yeah.
Are you fearful for your friends and family back there?
Yeah,
Namely,
I've left, so less fearful than I'd be if I had a real skin in the game. More like watching a car crash rather than being in the car. Oh gosh, you don't want to do that. Crash. Well, that was spectacular. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
World star. Yeah. World star.
Honestly, that would have made the Brexit vote so much more fair if just someone shouted "World Star" as the results were coming and going, "Oh shit, really? It's one of those."
We out here. John, you did leave your compatriots there, but I will say Kate makes a more attractive partner than your first love, namely Andy Zaltzman.
That's right.
Hello, buglers. We got any buglers in the crowd?
That's my friend Andy, who has many qualities to his name. Size of forehead, paramount among them. He will go toe to toe with a forehead.
You guys have the bugle pop. I mean, you're sort of busy these days, so he's hosting it mostly.
Yeah,
solo.
I was doing a podcast with him for years when I was here until I changed.
Which I listened to even before you came over here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was fun. And then once I'd left the Daily Show, there was no time.
Yeah, you call in sometimes, but
yeah.
But it's still going, and I wanted to sort of do a little bit of a time travel back to your early days there, John, because you have a lot of experience on the stage. People think you just showed up here full form. There's prototype rolling off. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor, but
yeah.
So I'm going to stop it and say
I'm no one's idea of an ideal physical prototype. Really? That's how they're all going to be.
My point is, it took a lot of molding and shaping to get to this exquisite specimen that we have here today. The Cambridge Footlights, John Oliver.
Yes, that's right.
1997.
Yeah.
We have a clip of a sketch you did back in college. This is 21 years ago. Let's take a look at this.
Holy shit.
I just want to see the sports page. That's all I want to see. I just want to see whether Arsenal are through.
What's that smell? I cannot stand that. It's so unnecessary. It's a simple matter of personal hygiene. A routine of showering and then deodorant. It's intolerable.
Oh, fine. I'll buy my own paper. She's so nice. So nice. I love her. I see her every day. I love her. Where does she live? What does she do? What's her phone number? What is she like? Is she happy?
I live at 183A Norwich Road. I'm a trainee solicitor. My office number is 0171 863 4821, extension 36. My home number is 0181 567 921. I really hate insincerity in people. I feel okay, but I feel that there's something missing from my life. I'd like to meet someone new.
I'll never know. I'll never know.
I'll kill you all. No one tells me what to do. I'll sew you all up and feed your pieces to my dogs.
He looks like a nice man.
Wow.
The Cambridge Footlights.
Wow.
1990s. Some gasps of recognition there. Richard Ayade there.
Yeah.
One of your mates who's gone on to do great things as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is a chance for you to show some shine onto some of your pals there that you left behind. Because a lot of us here know about Ricky Gervais and Monty Python, some great British comedy. But there are so many names: Armando Iannucci,
yes,
Chris
hero.
Morris,
yes,
Daniel Kitson.
Sure.
Can you educate some people here on some of the great...
Well, Daniel, he's my best friend, so I can't speak to him as a comedian. I love him too much as a human being to ever give him anything resembling a compliment. So let's put him aside.
All right.
For the hack performer he is. Armando Iannucci was kind of my hero, my North Star, really, when I was growing up. He was my favourite in the whole world. He gave me one of my first paid jobs, and I remember making him laugh and thinking, I'm fine. If this is it, I'm fine. At that point, it felt like playing with the house's money. If I physically made him laugh, and I don't think he was faking it, then I'll probably be okay from now on.
You guys might be familiar with his work, Veep.
He did Veep. That was
Veep.
that was his American work. Yeah.
Thick of it. And,
On the Hour. The Day to Day. That was his.
Yeah.
Alan Partridge was his.
Yeah, Alan Partridge.
He was amazing.
And Chris Morris. Have you ever? He was kind of a.
I've never met him. No.
Really?
No, I did see him when I was. It was around that time. I was about 20 years old, and I saw him in London, and I was so obsessed with him at that point. I just followed him. I followed him for about a mile and a half through South London, and I thought, I think we've both had enough now. So yeah, I've seen him, but
I
only
did
the
that
back
with
of his
Charles
head.
Grodin. I did that.
Did you really? That's a good person to follow. Where? In New York?
Around here.
Yeah, that's good. And did you say hello? No. Good for you. Good for you. That's the key. You keep it to your fucking self. Mr. Grodin, good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
It's been an honour walking with you. I remember.
I loved Clifford.
The weirdest walk I had in New York was we just, for the Daily Show, we just released a book, and we did a reading at Barnes & Noble, and there were a bunch of 9/11 truthers there, and they were screaming things during the reading, and then they were waiting for us outside, and I had to go to the UCB to do a gig, and one of them said, "Can I walk with you?" And so I said, "Oh, okay." So we walked from 14th Street to the old UCB, and we walked along. We were talking about comedy and the books, and everything. And then he said we were about a block and a half away, and he said, "Have you ever thought about whether jet fuel can melt steel beams?" I think we're finished here. We're literally a block and a half away, and sadly we must now go our different ways geographically and mentally.
Is that what that truther movement is like? They're like Jews for Jesus?
He was really nice until a block and a half. Yeah, and then he couldn't talk around it anymore. Yeah.
Well, this sounds like this is your next deep dive. On trutherism.
No, I'm pretty sure it was planes.
Yeah. I want to talk last week tonight with you. Why not? It's the show that you do, John.
Yes.
My clicker's is not there. There's your graphic. First, you're done. You've given up. You're on season 5 now, John.
Yeah. This was the poster for this year, and each year it's been fun to come up with an image that my face is not in. Because I don't really like the ephemera of being on TV very much, and they have to put these things on buses. So the last 2 years I've been hiding behind the desk and then with my head on the desk, and the justification for it has been a joke, but really it's just I don't want to be there. I remember the first time I was ever on a bus when the show was about to start. I hadn't seen one, and I was waiting to cross the road, and a bus pulled up, and my face was standing right in front of me. And there was a guy standing who was waiting to cross the road. He looked at the bus, looked at my face, and just went, "Ha ha!" Oh, good.
You have a TV show. Maybe next year will just be like a suit on a coat hanger.
Yeah. I think I saw you on. Are you on a billboard?
I'm the face of Chase. Hashtag Chase face.
Chase Bank. Chase Bank, not Chase from Paw Patrol. Yeah.
Which you know because that's your son's favorite show.
I know Paw Patrol, yeah. Chase, Sky, Rubble. You don't need to know. I will say their plots are, at best, samey. Paw Patrol hit a formula and they are unwilling to break it.
John, I wish I could rip you here, but I have no idea what the show is.
Yeah, you watch one episode and then you do. There's basically a kind of cold open where the dogs are playing a game, at which point there's a crisis, then a rescue's involved. Usually 3 of the 5 dogs get picked by Ryder. They drive out, everything's fine, they go back home. Also, the dogs talk, the cats are just cats.
Have you ever thought about doing TV recaps for New York Magazine? We have a vulture reporter here. We could get you. If you don't want to blog for Ariana, you can recap Paw Patrol. John Oliver, last week tonight, the first episode of the show aired April 17, 2014.
Right.
That first segment, that first deep dive was a court case between Coca-Cola and Palm Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
What simpler times.
Yeah.
A lawsuit about the pomegranate concentration in Minute Maid beverages.
Yeah, it was such a controllable time.
Yeah. You've covered some other topics since then over the years. Capital punishment, immigration reform, income inequality, incarceration in the U.S., nuclear weapons, nuclear waste, predatory loans, predatory churches, student debt, drones, civil asset forfeiture, tobacco, government surveillance, child labor in the fashion industry, online harassment, sexual harassment in the workplace, torture, industrial farming, food waste, voter ID laws, the border wall, the Flint water crisis, Puerto Rican government debt crisis, Guantanamo Bay, the opioid crisis, the campaign of Donald Trump, the presidency of Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, Vladimir Putin, Rudy Giuliani, Brett Kavanaugh, the NRA, and those are just the ones I can recall from memory.
It doesn't sound funny, does it?
It's a who's who of what the fuck.
Yeah.
How How do you do it, John? And honestly, because I mean, I know ER nurses.
Yeah.
I know people have to go there and deal with that. I know public defenders who have to see the worst of our criminal justice system.
Yeah.
And you have like every aspect, every horrible thing that's happened in the world.
Yeah.
You're deep in it every week.
I will say, just before you compare me to an ER nurse, I appreciate the compliment, but that's about to become a burden that these shoulders cannot carry, Scott. Unless, just in terms of ease of job, fairness of compensation, there's a lot of criticisms in here. My wife was a combat medic in the army, so I really don't get to complain about how hard. I just couldn't find a funny angle on fashion industry. Oh, really? Well, try getting shot at while you're operating on someone. I wouldn't. I'm a natural coward.
But yet you puke more on the job.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love your program, and as hard as you try to balance the awful news with the anthropomorphic peacocks going down on you,
Yeah.
it's hard not to...
That needs context.
It
wouldn't actually help.
We'll get there, but I mean, it's honestly, as a viewer and as a huge fan, it's hard not to turn off your show and just sink back into that couch, paralyzed with dread and existential fear of like, wow, what is happening? How are people suffering? What kind of world do we live in? You leave it at work. You just go home and it's all Paw Patrol.
As a comedian, that is always the aftertaste you want an audience to have. I've never wanted to promote laughter so much as just existential dread and the concept of the future happening.
But which is why you're cognizant of it, which is why you have to have.
It is jarring though. Like I found one of the jarring moments I found a while ago. It's like a year and a half ago. I went to India to interview the Dalai Lama, and we'd set it all up, and there was a lot of people working in production to get me there, and then I thought about what I wanted to ask him about, and then just before he came in, and you see like the reverence of the monks around him, understandably, it kind of hit me. Oh, I'm about to fuck with this guy. What am I doing with my life? Am I really about to fuck with the Dalai Lama? And luckily, he's a fan of fuckery. Yeah. So that was actually the large truth is that is why I wanted to speak to him, because I'd read this one interview where he said he struggles with people putting him on a pedestal, so he always likes to try and make people laugh. So the first thing he did to me when I was in the room was he tickled me. And it does kind of knock the...
gravitas down.
That's right, just when you're being tickled, your natural reaction is just get the fuck off me, whether it's, your brother or the Dalai Lama.
John, are you sure it was the Dalai Lama, not one of these guys out in Times Square here posing as the Dalai Lama for tips?
No, I'm not 100% sure.
We can't be 100% sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, are you familiar with Malcolm Gladwell's? We talked about the paradox of satire. Did you hear that piece he wrote? I mean, it was actually about another British comedian, Harry Enfield. Loads of money. Remember that guy? And he writes about this, that his fans took on, his fans took on the loads of money character. He was satirizing that personality, but his fans embraced it.
Right, I don't know if it was his fans so much as like people.
The mainstream media.
He was doing ironically, and it was people were able to use it in a non-ironic context.
Right, yeah. and it extends to like is satire doing its job? Is it working?
Well, it depends what you think its job is.
Yeah. What can I ask you? What do you think its job is?
Well, if you were in the Weimar Cabaret back in 1930s Germany, it depends if you thought. My job is to stop fascism. That's an overwhelming failure. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you haven't got to that part of 20th century history.
I'm DVR'd the news this year.
So no, I mean it's what we do. What we see our job as is to try and make like a rigorous, factually solid, interesting, funny show. So in terms of the reverberations, we pay literally no attention to that whatsoever.
Really?
And don't factor it into anything we do.
And you don't, you don't feel like a sense of helplessness or hopelessness that you're, I mean, I thought Drumpf would have done it, honestly. Like, I just think, I watch your pieces and I go, how can anyone watching this not understand what's happening
Yeah,
here?
well, that piece was just to try and separate the brand from the reality of him. So
Right.
that was just, because we hadn't talked about him at all, so it was just to try and say that the presentation does not match the content here. And that was what the whole thing that piece was about. And I think, again, spoiler alert,
Yeah,
it didn't,
he won.
it didn't
He
work.
still won. And but you don't, and you really don't think, you don't feel that burden of trying to fight this stuff. And I don't know, I guess I assume there was an element of this is our
Well,
agenda and we...
Not as much, not in that way. You know, I think we can sometimes be an amplifier on issues that aren't getting looked at very much, and so that is the kind of privilege of having a show like this, is that you can look at unaddressed stories and give, especially at the moment, really, in the last couple of years, where this administration tends to cannibalize everything, from stories that are reported on 24-hour networks to Frontline is still doing amazing work, but it's just sometimes there's just not room in people's head to be worried about something other than what's coming out of DC.
You have to watch John Oliver's show to watch Frontline.
It is complicated. We've had to protect the main body of our show from it because it's there's so much low-hanging fruit around it. You can kind of gorge yourself on that and forget that there are other things going on in the world. So we try and make sure that the vast majority of our main stories are not like centered around the president.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I want to show a clip. I want to show a clip from last week's show, and this is one of those topics that you get. I mean, it's like you said, the news cycle.
Yeah,
someone tried to assassinate every leading Democrat in the country 2 weeks ago, and no one's talking about that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
The biggest terrorist attack.
Do you know what? This is how crazy that got. Was that so? When people were sending the bombs around, remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a simpler time.
15 news cycles ago.
This is how immune people got. So the bombs were still getting sent out, right? He hadn't got caught, the guy, and I was walking between my office and home. Two separate people. This is on like a 10-minute walk to a car. Two separate people said, "Have you got one yet?" And I said, "What do you mean? Have you got one? I bet you're on the list." We're talking about an actual bomb, though.
This is not an invite to the Vanity Fair after party.
It's amazing. Yeah, I said no, and then thought that was just one weird person. Then a second guy, "You're definitely getting one. Would you be pissed off if you didn't get one?" No, I'd be fine with it. It's amazing. It's amazing how calloused we are to shock as something's happening.
This is horrifying.
Yeah.
This is our world. But then this is a really what you talked about last week was really horrifying. And this again a story that's not getting talked about much, but it's still happening. Let's take a look.
Because as she says, these kids will have some lasting effects. But while that's easy to say in the context of abstract pediatric science, the reality of it is fucking heartbreaking. Take Henry. He's a 6-year-old from Honduras. He was separated from his mother and reunited after a month apart. But, as a documentary crew found, their ordeal was far from over, and I'm warning you, this is going to be rough to watch.
So, we need to take care of him. I think I need to leave, okay?
¿Qué te he dicho que no te quiero? Henry. Toda esta separación fue muy larga. Mi hijo ya ha cambiado mucho. Con tanto trauma. Ya no quiero ser tu hijo, ya no soy tu hijo, me dijo.
Yeah, we did that. And not because we had to, but because we chose to.
Yeah. So that's rough stuff, man.
Yeah, so the reason we showed that, because you don't want to engage in, misery porn, but the just before just before I started talking, there was a woman there from the Center for Immigration Studies, I think, so a right-wing immigration think tank, and so she had said that it was terrible family separation, but that we had to do it, which is just emphatically not true. And then I'd been very glib with saying, when presented with the consequence, saying, yeah, I'm sure there are going to be some lasting effects. And that's kind of easy to say. Well, it's not easy to say, but it's easier to say, theoretically, than actually being presented with the reality of that consequence. So we felt that that had been provoked enough that we wanted to show people what this meant. So the previous kind of 18 minutes had been leading to saying, and this is what is at the other end of this policy. So we wanted to break it down from the different ways that it was justified, from, that this is because they broke the law, which is not the case, that this was inevitable, which it was not, to the fact that when we were all paying attention to it, back in June, it was hard that no one knew anything, because the story was just in flux all the time, and so no one was sure what was happening. And recently, 2 major government reports came out, and they just got buried because of the way the world is right now. So finally, we did have some answers to what had happened. And so that would speak to what we were just talking about before, that was a chance to be an amplifier and say, actually, let's talk about this instead.
Yeah. No, because and you're doing such a valuable service in doing that. But and now with young children yourself, and you watch this, and I can tell you get choked up there a little bit on the air.
Yeah.
Don't you just want to grab pitchforks and just march on ice? And how does this lead to action? And I guess so you're saying
well, with this, but that's a legitimate point, right? Because you don't want to kind of lead people into the middle of a dark forest in a story and then say, okay, good night.
Which is why you have the peacock.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that if you're going to talk to people about something for 20, 30, sometimes 30, 35 minutes, one story, you want to make sure that at the end you have some sense of a solution, however small, even if it's a solution to just a small part of the problem. And so for this, the first solution is don't ever do this again. And the second solution is essentially in 36 hours from that point, you have a chance not to vote out the people that were responsible for this, but to send a message to them through the ballot box. So you're going to have to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing it. But again, it sort of explains why you have Jeff the diseased lung.
Yes, that's right. That's why you need a Muppet Show element.
Who makes these mascots? They're incredible.
A bunch of different people. But Kayla, who's we had that idea for that joke, for the NBC joke, on Saturday. So she made that. We couldn't find. There is an NBC peacock costume. We didn't feel that they were going to let us use it for the context that the joke was in. We couldn't find one online because it was Saturday and we couldn't get it in time. So she bought a chicken costume, used the structure of it, put blue felt on it instead, and then made that beautiful. Yeah, she's incredible. She made that in basically a day. Yeah.
As it mimes fellatio.
Yes. Yeah, and that's Noel. Noel is inside all of our.
Have you ever late at night at the office, no one's looking, you don the mascots, Jeff?
We used to just have we used to just have them in this one room, but then kids occasionally would come in, and it was just a room basically full of decapitated mascots. And it was after the third kid cried, we thought, let's put these somewhere else.
Can I ask, is there a topic you wanted to cover in a segment, but for whatever reason it just never happened? It fell through the cracks, or you couldn't figure out a way in, or?
Yeah, there's loads of topics that either we couldn't find a way in, or that the story had shifted, or it had been slightly misreported, so the most tantalising parts of it weren't true yet, or it had shifted because a solution is underway and you don't know if it works yet.
Mueller report.
Well, that's right. Too soon for that.
That's coming up.
It is. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Or unless you do a report on Matt Whitaker, in which case it's about a hot tub salesman who became Attorney General.
Yeah. Yes. It's really something, isn't it?
It's really something.
Being alive right now, it just won't stop.
And being up right now.
Yeah.
Being up right now. It's getting late. We've been having a good time tonight, guys. A lot of laughs.
That can't be a catchphrase,
Lot of
Scott.
laughs.
You don't get to decide that. The concept of entertainment is that's their decision. You've had a good time. We've had a lot of laughs. End of conversation. This is not a fucking discussion. You are ready to be a father. That is a stern tone.
He needs the lesson. Thank you for the lesson.
You taught him well.
How about a hand for Dad chiming in 45 minutes into the show? Into the interview.
I wasn't gonna
How you doing over there?
I wasn't gonna get in the middle of the two of you.
Still holding up there, Pops? He's had a long day.
I'm still awake.
Flew in from Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know why is this is just not working, guys? I'm trying my okay. This is
As she says.
Wait, did that
You
already?
don't want to
All
play
right.
that again.
Don't want to play that again.
I
Little
think
out of order here.
Playing that 3 times is the one time in the rule of
Yeah.
3 in comedy
Yeah.
that would not apply.
The third time it gets funny.
Yeah.
Well, we've been having a barrel of laughs, and we have been. This is a fact. This is objective fact. Except for this gentleman in the front row. I don't know what this guy's problem is.
Yeah.
Been scowling all
Yeah.
night.
His
You're right?
his
Is everything
barrel of
cool?
laughs is
Tired.
empty.
Tired. Just not into this. Okay. It's not for everybody.
Let's
There are too many Jews on stage. That's the problem. That's the problem. And want someone who looks like one who can pass.
I love the look.
We can pass. Mask. Listen, we're having a great time tonight, and but I think it's time we get a little serious, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time we look into the future.
Oh yeah.
This is the future, as predicted by the UN Scientific Panel on Climate Change in a report issued last month. Flashlights. Crucial! This is crucial! 2040. Warming Arctic waters will mean ice-free summers and total habitat loss for polar bears, seals, and seabirds. In the year 2040.
50 million people in the US, along with Bangladesh, China, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Japan, the Philippines, and Vietnam, will be exposed to the effects of increased coastal flooding. We've had some fun.
All coral reefs will be dead.
Tuvalu, Palau, the Seychelles, the Maldives, Kiribati, and thousands of other islands will literally disappear, falling victim to rising sea levels as they're reclaimed by the ocean. In the year 2040.
400 million people worldwide, particularly those in the Mediterranean region, will be exposed to severe drought and increases in water scarcity. Or if you listen to this administration, they won't.
Society as we know it will collapse.
Crop production of staples corn, wheat, rice, and soybeans will drop 10 to 15%, causing increased food prices and widespread food shortages.
Damage from climate change will cost the world's economies an estimated $54 trillion.
That 54 trillion will be made up in sales of my sex tape with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh my goodness! She'll
Be gentle with her, Marty. She just had a fall.
Well, that is a chilling portent of things to come.
She's not going out like that, Marty. Not now. Not at least for 18 months.
That's real facts from the UN report on climate change happening in the year 2040, folks. We have a lot to look forward to. That is the biggest news, John. That's the biggest issue, I think. Climate change.
Sure.
We talk about it on the show, but I mean, that's the underpinning issue on everything. Without a planet, there's no gay rights, there's no civil rights, there's no gun control, there's nothing. There's no planet to live on.
Or it isn't. That's the counterpoint.
Right.
That's literally the entire counterpoint. But what if not?
Well, Well, that was fun. A little homage to Conan there. And finally, John, I do want to go out. I mean, I want to keep you here till next Tisha B'Av, but deep cut. But you know, you have a family to go back to. We have another amazing guest, Amos Lee, coming up. So I want to go out here on a joyful note. John, we've had a wonderful evening.
Oh God, now you're doing it to me.
A lot of laughs. We've had a wonderful time, but I want to end on a wienerful time.
Oh.
John Oliver.
Yes.
Can you teach us the Carlos Danger dance?
I can.
Yes?
Yes, I can. Don't move from the... It's basically the exact opposite of Irish dancing, river dance. Do not move from the waist down at all. Move up.
What time it is? Radio.
Do it, Danger! Danger!
Danger!
This is it.
Get on the floor. The feeling right
John
here.
Oliver, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Danger.
Sing it. Get on the floor.
Let him hear it.
The feeling right here.
9 years.
Let him hear it. 9 years.
We did it.
I'll see you in 9 years. If there's still a planet. John Oliver, holy cow! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh, I give you all-star comedy. I give you all-star music. That's right. We are not done yet. To close it out, I've invited a very special musical guest all the way from Philadelphia, PA. His newest record, My New Moon, was released this summer from Dual Tone Records. Ladies and gentlemen, please come to the stage, Mr. Amos Lee!
Lately I've been headed for a breakdown. Every time I leave my house, I just feel it's like a shakedown. Between the street sweepers and the pushers all alone. Who knows where we butchers? Between small-time corruptors who all seem to feed upon each other. Every time I try to lock down, well, my mind just gets away. I can't even close my eyes now. Between big fish and ambition and the lovers using words as ammunition. Between wood plank I've been pacing, possible dream that I'm chasing. Why hanging out now, waiting, oh, for me.
Amos Lee. I'm a little wet. I'm a little.
Just a little?
I'm a little wet. That was. Oh, Amos, it is so nice to have you here, man. Thank you for making the trip.
Pleasure. Amtrak was a little bit of a shithead today. But
Yeah,
it was fine.
I'm sure. Did you see Joe Biden on there? Was he riding there with you?
Right next to me, brother.
Amos, your new album, I love it. It seems inspired by some of the events of the past year. Yeah, much like comedians take it and turn it to comedy, you take it and turn it to songs and art. How hard is it to write hopeful songs when it feels like nothing's making sense in the world?
Well, it's a good outlet to have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd just be like smashing my face against the ground all day long, which feels kind of right anyway. But songwriting and art and comedy, it's a helpful way to cope.
It also helps to have that voice.
Yeah.
And that ability to play guitar, both of which I'm lacking. So I have to smash my face into the ground. But are you feeling hopeful about your Phillies?
Oh, well, it depends on
Bryce
free
Harper?
agency.
Is Bryce Harper gonna go?
We're baseball nerding right now. Excuse
all right.
us, folks.
Well, we can finish this after the show. Amos, can you close this out with one more song for us? Thank you.
Sure, yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having me on your show, man. It's awesome. And your pops is the shit. So. And these fellas,
These
like,
guys.
incredible. I was looking at you
Next-
all the show and your outfits, and just beautiful.
Next album. Collab. Amos Lee and the Surfboard 6.
Hey, thanks y'all for staying out too. I appreciate this. A late one.
We're after midnight, baby. Running late is actually late tonight. Yeah.
I'll finish with a Sam Cooke song. It's my favorite song. I was born by the river in a little tank. Oh, just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, I know. Change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard to live, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up here. Got beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, I know. Change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to the moon, and I go, well, I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't, but I don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, I know. A change is gonna come. Oh, yes. Then I go to my little brother. And I say, brother, hey,
Amos Lee. Let him hear it. Let him hear it. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming. Amos, John Oliver, Dale Seever, David Brooks and Mark Engelson, the Surfboard Six, Simon Scheuer, Marquez Kanazi, my father Marty. You've been quiet, but also dull. No, you're a formidable presence there. I couldn't do this without you. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you to everyone here at the venue for putting it together, everyone. Working the venue, my producers, Alex, Brazell, my writers, Alex, Max, Zach, Julia, I think there's another Alex probably somewhere, Tony for the photoshops, Seth with the photographs, Skylar, Fulton, Nick for the editing on the Just Bulbs and the shooting, and all of you for coming out way past your bedtime on a Friday night. I couldn't do this without you. My mom, I got my mom too. There's a lot of depressing shit in the world. We saw some of it tonight, we talked about it, but nights like this make me want to live forever. Thank you for sharing it and restoring my sense. And there's some good stuff still there. You can still have fun nights, right? Despite the fucking shit that's going down, we can still do this at the L. Ron Hubbard Theater. We're all enjoying Scientology. Follow me to freedom next door. And also at Scott Rogowski on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much.